Hello. Um, okay. So, yeah. Why are things getting demonetized without swearing in them?
So I'm gonna break it down. The tip off to this was I was watching Susie, the Sphere Hunter, check her channel out, it's great. Complained that her Dead Space video got demonetized despite not fucking breaking any rules. And this is the closest personal reaction I've seen of YouTube changed the rules again, and the rules are fuck you. The rules are fuck you, eat
Mm-hmm.
shit
Mm-hmm.
is the rules.
I
And I saw a really good breakdown of why this is happening. Um, Advertisers complain that their ads are put on content that they don't approve of, i.e., anything with a swear or a blood on it. Then YouTube apologizes and cracks down on fucking bullshit, and then advertisers come back to better advertising rates and just get put on all the same shit.
okay.
And the
So
only
it
one it fucks over is literally everyone.
right. So if they kind of sabotage the
They go,
situation.
"Oh, we're not happy. Oh, we might
Mm-hmm,
leave.
mm-hmm,
Oh,
mm-hmm. Okay. I saw that because I was going back over stuff that was getting flagged, and I was like,
for
there's
what?
nothing swearing related. What's going on? And it's like, nope, confirmed by manual viewer. This is still inappropriate. And yeah, and then I saw there's a Pro ZD video. I haven't watched it yet because it was right as we were going live here, but I'm like, what the fuck is actually happening? That it's like now it's just tone is gonna be the issue. In which
So
case,
YouTube moderation's been like god awful forever. Like, you can have like the Taliban put up a fucking like recruitment video up and that'll stay up for weeks, but if I like call somebody a fuckhead, like I'll get demonetized. Like it's robots first, and then it's a second tier of robots that they say is human reviewers. I do not believe it when they say a human reviewer has looked at
has
it.
actually looked
I
at this.
don't believe it for a second. So Adam, your movie sucks.
Mm-hmm.
Like every 3 weeks, he's like going back and forth with the YouTube Twitter account, going, "What the fuck is in the review that is flagged? It's like an hour. You haven't given me any information." And a robot gets back to him to say a human looked at it.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, "But what is the problem?" And the robot goes, "There is a problem. Maybe you should fix it." And he's like, "I'll gladly fix it. Just tell me what the fuck it is."
Like the report that comes back should also have a quick summary of what the video was about. Just a little book report, so that to like report on what you saw and then go right. Now that that's out of the way, this Kimba the Lion review, this part particularly has the issue. It's fucking just
It's just worse and
unceasing,
worse every year.
unceasing.
Every year that I have ever dealt with YouTube, going back to 2011, 2012. So that's going on 10 years straight of YouTube. Every single year, it is worse than the year before. Like
Yeah.
like 1 to 1. Some years it's only a little bit worse. Some years it's much worse.
I should put up a video with swears and then just have the actual video content be identify the fire hydrants, and then when it gets flagged and we send it back and just watch the smoke pour out of the machine and see what happens.
Which of these are boats?
A human has rev- has rev- has review has ha.
Hey Wooly, I have to ask you because this, I mean, we're going way off topic, but fuck it. You get the robot that says, "Hey man, figure out if there's traffic lights in this video," right?
Mm-hmm.
The traffic
Captcha.
lights one is the one that makes me going crazy, because I don't know about you, but I consider the pole that the traffic light is on to be part of the traffic light. But sometimes it doesn't, for some fucking reason.
I would not select it if it was just the post, because sometimes the post is actually just a light for the city, like a street light or some glorified telephone pole. Sometimes it's not actually the traffic light. So because I can't tell, I need to see a light.
What about this one? Show me like the one that's the most popular is like click all the boxes with the car in it, right?
Yeah.
And,
Find the bike.
and like the fucking the back bumper of the fucking car is like in like a little bit into one of the squares, right? And so you click on it, it goes no, it wasn't there. I'm like, no, what? It was there.
Well, you better get those answers right, because that will determine how good your driving AI is going to be. So, you know.
Hey, hey, guess what? I happen to know a little bit about driving AI. Nuh-uh, don't, just for a while, just don't.
Give it a minute.
Need I point you at like the Tesla car reviews, the self tests they run every year, where they just decapitate every child dummy on the field?
Yeah,
because Teslas for some reason see a kid and go fuck it.
I mean, the move where it's like advanced cruise control, but keep your fucking hand on the wheel is gonna need to be the limit for a minute.
I don't know where it was. Did you see?
Almost is not good enough.
Like he was asleep in his fucking car and he killed people because the fucking robot just decided to hit some pedestrians?
No.
Oh, where was that? I think it was out. He's going to jail. He's definitely going to jail for that.
Jesus Christ.
It was in Germany. It was on the Autobahn. Sleeping driver cruised for 15 minutes before he heard the patrol car's horn.
Sleeping on the Autobahn. Oh, God. Like, already that. Oh, my God. Like, dude.
You're going to jail, bro.
I've heard about... Okay, not to fucking start on a high note here, but just I've heard about, like, Autobahn crashes that are, like, they don't look like normal car crashes because the metal is often disintegrated and just...
Well, yeah, because
like,
the Autobahn, nobody gives a shit. Everyone's like, I can drive my car fast.
Like it's like pancaked is not the term. It just they just evaporate, you know. Anyway,
you ever see people's cars that get hit by like trains at intersections? And like I wouldn't disintegrate is too kind of a term. The cars evaporate. Like they don't even appear to fly apart. They just like disappear.
One of the first fucked up things I'd ever seen in my life was there was a minivan, which was basically buses in Grenada, but they're not buses, they're just vans, and they pick you up and you kind of just squeeze in, dozen to a 6-seater type of thing. And one of them was going around the side of a mountain, and just the way it was described is like, this rock that had been there from the beginning of time, God just
decided
today's the day.
Yeah.
And that shit was essentially minivan sized, but just a little bit less. So the end result was it hit the center of it and left the edges sticking up. And that obviously was like a island-wide, like, fucking insane event, and they brought they brought it down to the like police station, which was just like an open yard, so anyone walking downtown just look over at it, and it's like, there it is, with the parts and things and like liquids,
you gotta clean that up. You gotta
still hanging off of it. And I remember specifically seeing the edge of the metal and a piece on that, and I was way younger than need be to see that type of shit, and it was super fucked. Hey, welcome to 2023. How's it going?
The story, like, it unlocks a moment in me because I with a child with completely unrestricted. You know, you ever look back and be like, wow, I can't believe my parents allowed me completely unrestricted internet access for like hours and hours and hours at a time because of all that shit I saw. But like the other day, the cat, who is old, like fell into his own shit inside his litter box. And so he basically pooped himself. And I had to pick up the cat and I had to take him to the shower and wash the cat, and I had to cut a little bit of poop out of his butt. Right.
How
And I'm
about
doing
that?
this, and Paige saw it, and Paige saw it, was like, oh, like she can't handle it. You know, she doesn't have the like the and I just hit this moment of like, yeah, there was some point in my teens where like blood and piss and shit and vomit is unpleasant, but all of a sudden it just, I'm like, yes, this is gross. Okay, all done. And I'm thinking back to that era. I'm like, I wonder what could have deadened that part of my brain that seeing this stuff would have just, oh yes, this is horrible. I wonder what I could have seen at the time that would have just
Self-inflicted.
scorched out that part of my brain. And it's like, it might have been completely unrestricted access to the internet.
Yeah. Anyway, like I said, just there was those days of hearing about the worst of it and such, and then there's the one guy from our high school who just like got way too into it.
Yeah.
And just never stopped being like, have you seen this? Have you seen that? And then just like, oh, this is what you're casually doing. It like you're just hours of just like browsing through the fucking gore and shit.
Guy at my high school, I am certain he is dead now. I am certain, because I remember asking him. He said he was really happy on Monday, and he said he had a great weekend. I'm like, what did you do over the weekend? And he said that him and his uncle went out hunting, but they didn't feel like hunting, so they just shot all of their ammunition into the sky all day for the whole weekend. And he's like, yeah, it was great. I'm like, okay.
Okay, yeah.
All right.
Yeah. All right.
Like,
there you go. It like for our guy, it was the type of thing where at its like it was the type of bit where we stopped kind of hearing about like updates on that, but like people we knew that knew him would kind of just come back periodically from time to time and be like, yeah, he's really watching those things. He's going like he's super in. And like well after everyone was kind of like, oh, holy shit, whoa, okay, all right, let's go do a different activity or whatever.
Literally anything. Just
yeah,
let's just
or just
away.
We're sitting around and, oh, have you seen this, and pulling it up on the phone. It's like, okay, but then hours later, like it's, you don't have to keep pulling up another, like it's maybe
if I jerk off to this one, I'll show everyone how cool I am because I can handle it.
Maybe I need to just get better at my resilience and just, yeah, there you go. Don't let that stop you. Concern, alarm, exclamation mark. Anyway,
in the back of my mind, I'm just my brain is just filling in the gap of, hey, make sure to fill the jar with water. Make sure not to do it with an empty jar. You want to fill the jar with water for safety.
Yeah.
Just in case.
I'll tell you one thing. Anytime I'm driving along any fucking mountainous side pass, like my brain is just racing with the timing of that fucking Grenada van. Like that is never going away.
I don't know if you remember, but when me and Paige were going over the mountain in the RV that did not have four-wheel drive or winter tires, and we saw a guy in a truck with four-wheel drive like pass us because he was in a hurry, and then 10 minutes later we saw him standing with a cop next to his fucking flipped truck. and they were just chatting, just yeah, no, fucking flipped it. And we were just like, ha 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 ha, this fucking mountain.
Yeah. No, my brother recently, like he was like out in the snow in fucking the prairies, Canada. He was on a highway and yeah, an 18-wheeler up ahead just kind of like veered off and like complete, like not jackknifed but like sideways, like to flipped over and then slid and then blocked off both sides of the highway and then led to just one of those get out of your car and get as far away from this site right here, right now, because every car pulling up is going to have a hard time hitting the brakes, and the pileup is just going to get more and more dangerous.
Well, luckily, since it was in the prairies, he could have probably just driven right around it,
right into the,
on the smooth grass.
Which he literally he drove into the grass. That's exactly what everyone did. Yeah. Yeah.
There's an old joke, like what happens when you fall asleep in most of Canada when you're behind the wheel. You wake up when you hit a car, when you hit a tree. But in the prairies, you'll wake up after you've run out of gas.
Right.
Could not believe how absolutely absurdly flat it was. Like,
yeah,
I feel like I had never seen the horizon before in my life. Before we were I thought we were driving past Winnipeg or Edmonton or one of them, and it's like I can see into fucking infinity.
Yeah, no. My friend in Saskatoon broke up with his girlfriend. Saddest part was he had to watch her walk away for 3 days.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
So. Anyways.
Speaking of travel, you recently went to fucking Mag. How was that? Yes,
I'm back from MagFest. That was pretty fun. The main vibe, the repeating bit of the weekend was essentially right. So here we are at National Harbor, which for anyone who doesn't know, that's in Maryland, but it's right on the border of DC, which is 20 minutes away. In fact,
it's right there,
20 minutes away from the core, the capital. And as we know, MagFest takes place on January 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th. Oh. So at any given point, it was just like, we doing this or what? Okay, fuck all this mag shit. We ready to go?
No, not this year, Wooly. You missed
it. Yeah. Like, no. This year we needed to be a little bit further south. But it was just like, I was like, okay, just as long as you just get those bits out of the system, outside the airport, not within, and certainly not within earshot of customs.
No, no. You know what? Customs does not seem to have a sense of humor. Something I've discovered.
No. It's like, did you repeat what convention is like? That's at MAG Fest. Okay, just making sure.
Oh God, yeah.
just making sure.
Jeez, every part of this.
You're going where for what now? Yeah. Yeah, but
what's the vibe of MagFest now? Because like there was that long period of conventions like being active during like death plague explosion and people going like, what are you, crazy? And now we're obviously in a fucking downswing, hopefully. Fingers fucking right?
We're in a Swiss cheese. It's a couple years later effect of, consider your options and do your best with it. The vibe is pretty much the same, except again just like with the distance and mask policy.
And don't touch me, man. Don't touch. No, seriously,
as much as possible. And yeah, but otherwise it's pretty similar in that regard, all things considered. And, for me, certainly, as I kind of mentioned before, like last week and stuff, is just like, hey, just so you know, like the usual thing, I'm like, yeah, let's get in there, bomb, do the photo, all that bit. And this time around, it's like, okay, we can chat, we can just try to
we
keep.
can chat from this distance. It's I can hear
because,
you. I can hear you just fine.
Yeah, but like I'm the person who's gonna probably end up talking to more people than the average goer. Therefore, right. But yeah, all that. No, it was fun. Had a good time. The thing I wanted to do for a bit now was I've been getting this fucking super cool gear called Machine 56, which is just like basically like cyberpunk clothing, and it's just the raddest shit, like Edge Runner style, Ghost in the Shell, all that stuff aesthetically. You're just like wearing clothing that comes from that kind of world. It's not actually like a tie-in brand with anything media-wise. It's just that. But
yeah, I'm sick of my lame late-stage capitalism. Can I get some of the cool parts of the fantasy late-stage capitalism?
We're heading there anyway. Let me just get the parts that I like out of the situation before we all fucking... Yeah, let's just get to the cool shit, okay? That's the only trade-off for me being locked out of my apartment while getting fucking the ashes of loved ones. Like, let me just skip to the aesthetic, please, because that's all we got. And yeah, it's always been super hard to get because like it's been fucking sold out in seconds type of thing. But they've recently,
you're right there.
Well, they've recently been doing re-ups, so I was like, oh fuck, and just jumping on a couple of them. And so like I got like a fucking pants, jacket, mask, this whole thing going on. And I got some stuff even that I didn't even realize was like not the right size. Like I got like a unisex jacket that has like a cutoff on it that's like, okay, this is better suited for Punch Bomb type of thing. And all this to say, we basically ended up with this full outfit of what I've learned since it's called tech gear. And no place to use it because like I like dressing kind of fun and stylishly as like if I can, but like it's a bit much to go buy your groceries in fucking
it's the opposite of showing up in
Edge
like
Runner's
pajamas.
mode. Yeah,
right.
It's a bit much, and then I've also discovered that there's like variants of it that go into things like Warcore, where it's just like tactical ready, futuristic, cyber gear and shit like that. It's a whole thing, but either way, I'm just like, how do I want to go about this? I'm like, well, what I can do and what I think the best way is in real life and day to day, if I'm gonna do something like with one of these articles of clothing, the drip is maximized by, let's say, taking just the jacket and then normal t-shirt and jeans underneath it, right? Or like just the pants and then normal clothes for the rest of it, so that you just balance it out, but when can you combine all that shit with a ridiculous face mask? Yeah, walking around somewhere like MagFest, Yeah,
and then you can get your gauntlet that has the steam shoot out of it and
exactly.
has the valve.
So did that. So yeah, Punch Mom and I synced up and got our whole fucking tech gear look going, and that was fun because after just walking around like that, just suddenly, just like other people wearing that stuff were just like, hey, yo, what's up? I'm like, oh, hey, cool, nice mask, nice, with the screen on it and the visuals going, and then like middle-aged like old guy comes out of nowhere and is just like, is this your first year? And I was like, no, we've been here before. He's like, how come I ain't seen y'all before? I was like, oh, well, he's like, because I know.
Notice because I wasn't.
Yeah, I know. He's like, because you guys, he's just like I know everybody that's in the tech gear community, and like we go and we do our shoots and we talk online and we exchange links, and I ain't seen y'all before, so you gotta here's what the links, here's what you gotta check out. We're gonna be able to.
Did you join a fucking cult?
We basically wandered in the right aesthetic to a place where people are like, hey, oh, you're into this too. Hey, cool.
This sounds like a cult, Wooly. This sounds like you may have joined a cult.
They call themselves the tech gear community. But ultimately, I guess the most cultish thing they do is be like, hey, yo, check these pants out. They're really cool. Like this one person, for example, is wearing...
starts.
This one dude was like wearing like a full outfit with like yellow and black and stuff, and again almost like Mirror's Edge-ish kind of thing.
Well, that's Edge Runner, right? Like
Yeah.
David's wearing a lot of yellow and black.
Yeah, and no, and he was just like, he's like, yo, he's like, what you got going on? Pretty sick. There's a pair of black pants from this different company that does it because Machine 56 has their own stuff, but there's another one you can check out over here and check these out. And like, he's just like, and he kind of just pulls it up, and it's like, yeah, you're super right. This would have been amazing to and I was like, okay, got it. Like, there's a whole rabbit hole to fall down here. Now, I think I'm probably I got everything I want because I got like the cool like Gantz bottom half jaw mask kind of thing with the Cashern kind of cover on it, and I got the jacket pants and such. I got to get some cool shoes to just kind of like match along, but the only other thing I want, I guess, is just like a full cover kind of mask to use for the going all the way in. But I brought my Nago Ryuki cosplay mask, which is just like a flat thing, but like that kind of matches alongside as well.
I was about to say, could you just throw that on?
I could just throw it on with the rest of the white outfit. Exactly. So it's all there. So I'm like, okay, tech gear is what it's about. Yeah, no, again, I feel it's just quite simply like, there are dozens of us, because this shit is cool, but also the audacity to bother is a bit much. And to be fair, it's like, yeah, that's like a $200 jacket, and those pants are gonna cost, and these bits are gonna kind of add up if you're going all in on it. So understandably, like, hard to get and gets pricey if you go too hard into that world.
Wooly, I just want to point out, like, I'm certain this is not the case, and I don't know what it is. There is something about the way you are describing this that, like, I cannot believe how much you are making it sound like you joined a cult. Like, I can't, like,
cult.
There is something about your specific phrasing and telling of this story that sounds so much like you have joined a cult. I cannot believe it.
I mean, I didn't give anyone any contact information. I just said, hey, nice shoes, nice fucking jacket, pleasure to meet you. We're going over this way. But, I mean, if that's how that cult is dressed, and they're rolling like a fucking unit to some...
Then they probably have some good ideas.
They might have some good ideas. And you know what? Fuck this mag thing. I say we go 20 minutes that way, and we get this thing done. J62, baby. Let's go. This time, in the sickest gear possible.
Well, you can't treat our neighboring country's constant political turmoil like a fucking theme park every time you go there.
But what if we're dressed awesome when we show up, though? What if everyone there is like, hold on a minute, look how they're dressed. Give it a second. They might have some good ideas. What do these guys have to say? Right? Way more stylish than a red hat. Come on. Let's see what happens. Give it a shot. Anyway.
There's a couple phrases that as an older adult man that I've learned to stay away from. Let's just see what happens is up there with, hey, check this out, in terms of impending doom. I was talking with Paige the other day. I'm like, I wonder how many people have died within 10 seconds of the phrase, hey, check this out.
Hey, check this out. Hold my beer, actually. That's the term. Hold, like, literally, that's the group. It's the you search under, hold my beer, and it's like followed by the activity. But yeah, no. Anyway, yeah, that shit is pretty sick, and I'm glad for the excuse to be able to try that out. And there's, again, very, very little opportunity ever to use it again. So for now, that was it. Yeah, no, while I was just kind of, doing the bit and stuff and going around, I, every fucking time I think I bought my last amiibo, there's one more that fucking pulls me in, right?
So, I have to tell you, you just said amiibo, and it took me a second to even... my brain went, oh, those are the Nintendo dolls.
Yeah.
But then it took me a full extra second to go, wait, what are those even fucking for?
I mean, on Bayo 2, I was using them on the fucking thing, but I At this point, I have no idea. But so I was done with my amiibos, and then I got like, what was it? I think it was the Samus Returns collection. And I was like, okay, enough, whatever, with these things, because I'm not using them for their actual purpose or whatever. And then Ryu came out. And I was like, okay, well, Ryu, let's just get Ryu, just for the sake of, whatever. Yeah. And that was it. And then I walked by, and like fucking Urbosa was there, and I'm like, it's like, come on, right? So
come on, man.
Yes,
it's not a Funko Pop.
No.
It's not a Funko Pop.
No. Funko Pops don't have abs. So, we do it, and we get in there, and that's it. And now I'm like, okay, I think that's my last one. I think we're out. But that's the type of character that would never get a piece of merch ever. That is wild. That they even bothered.
He's holding it in his hand.
I'm really surprised they even bothered. Yeah, no, absolutely. I think we get that. Abs acquired, and now we're out.
Breath of the Wild, Urbosa PVC exclusive, $149.99 on first 4 figures.
Jesus Christ. Okay. Well. Okay. But yeah, no. I mean, well, okay. Well, I guess here's the question: did like all the side characters from like previous Zelda games get like that type of shit?
Hit me with a name of someone.
Fucking what's his name? Goron King.
Goron King? What's his fucking name?
Darunia.
Darunia statue.
Skull Kid, I know, got stuff.
Darunia at first 4 figures.
Yeah, first 4 got them. Damn.
Fucking
okay.
A $199 sold out.
Sick.
Zant is $350 if you want him. That fucking loser.
Zant with the helmet on is sick. Zant without the helmet is the worst. This is how it goes.
It's
anyway.
Zant without the helmet.
Oh, fuck that.
Yeah,
God. Okay, so anyway, going through checking it out, most notable thing they had like the indies that were around for you to check out and stuff, and there was an indie set up for, I don't know if you remember, Skate Story. It was like
one neuron is firing.
Okay, so Trailer is a super surreal skateboarding game where you are basically like, the visuals are Rez / Sayonara Wild Hearts style, highly unrealistic, over the top musical.
Oh, that's the one where like Satan is making you skateboard.
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
This thing is fucking sick, dude.
Everything's made out of glass.
You are made out of glass. Yeah. So I played the 15-minute or so demo of that. And it's like, so it's one of those things where it's just like, you either get on board with what this game is throwing at you immediately, or fuck off. The tone is very much, like, press button, and game is like, you are a demon, you are a glass skater, you must eat the moon.
How do you do that?
That's
is it by skateboarding? Press
X to continue. Okay, cool. Next prompt. This is not Tony Hawk. Press X to continue. Yes. You must confirm that you agree that this is not Tony Hawk. Skate Story basically is so then you start playing it and you're like, okay, so if you're going to describe this to somebody, the easiest way would be, yeah, sure, Tony Hawk Cross Res. But it is true in that once you actually do start playing
skate Cross Res.
Exactly, because Tony Hawk is real fast and loose and fun with the like extreme gravity and tricks and shit you can do. Not to say this isn't, but the surreal visual style is contrasted with extremely realistic skating. And the skating is realistic to the point where just getting a handle on your moving around on the board is tricky. And if you just hit a curb like with too much speed and not enough lift, you're going to trip over and shatter because you're made of glass. So you have to be really precise on it, like almost like, you know how like monkey ball requires you to be precise.
Ironically
with
enough,
your...
this is similar to Tony Hawk's actual current skating experience. I don't know if you're aware, but Tony Hawk is like walking with a cane now.
Yes, yeah. Well, so he temporarily, while he was recovering from some surgery, I remember he said, yeah.
Well, there were two parts to that. The part is, first he injured himself, and then this the second part where he's like, after 3 weeks, he was like, "No, I'm good," and then he injured himself much worse.
Okay,
and then had to get surgery.
Damn. Fuck.
He's like 55, man. You can't,
he's
you can't be dropping into the vert anymore.
So he's retiring tricks. He's doing them for the last time, you know, smartly so. But yeah, the bit in Skate Story is like you're going for a surreal aesthetic combined with realistic street skating on the gameplay style. And it's funny because all I could think of when I was kind of going through it is like, this is the type of shit that would probably get actual skaters into it, like more that are like just looking for like a wild ass fucking thing with music playing, and just like you grab at one point, like before you jump into a level, you grab like a bagel and shove it into your face, and then like a giant door explodes, and you know, it's just again absurdity. Who cares? It's just all about the aesthetic. But when it comes to the skating part of it, it's like you get like hold LT and then ollie for a kickflip, and then hold RT and ollie for a heel flip, and then like you can nollie, and you can kind of do like, you know, like some simple ass, like a nose grind 50-50, like not much, you know. And when you do a grind, it's like it's those realistic grinds that are like kind of like really quick half plant, kind of just like bloop, and you're off type of bits, you know. And then you just have to, so you just have to get through these little areas.
That raises your multiplier.
It does, and in this case, it does damage to the boss demon that is observing you.
I see.
So you enter like a little skate park area that's like a really normal set of benches and chairs and ramps in the middle of a hellscape, and then like a demon observer floats down to watch, and then like
so the demon is watching you and going, "Oh, that's a sick trick!
Show us your stuff," you know? Yeah, like, and then you do stuff, and then as you do the moves, it's like, damn, and then the life bar goes down, and then you eventually destroy the demon, you know?
So does he like go, "Wow, that's a good job, cool tricks," or does he like fly apart because your skating killed him?
Your skating kills it. It just shatters into pieces.
I love it. I love it.
The demon gets murdered, and then a door appears, you know? Yeah, and then you take a bite out of the moon, and then you start puking black. And then the black puke increases as you get further and further in, and you're not doing okay, you know. Yeah, and it's going somewhere, I suppose, but you know, not before the demo wrapped. Though there's also like little things to it where it's like you can get off your skateboard at any time, but if you do, it shuts the progress door down. And little things like, oh, go collect these, jump over that or whatever. But anyway, it's gonna be fucking sick. And again, you're aesthetically, like you're glass with a scarf, and every time you fall over and shatter into a billion pieces, it transitions back and comes together in a pretty satisfying way.
Yeah, I remember seeing that. I was like very interested in it. What's that coming out? Is that this year?
I don't know. But I know that at the very least there's that trailer, and there might be a playable demo online at some point. The music seemed pretty fucking cool, but it was pretty loud, so I couldn't super hear. And I ain't putting no fucking headphones on or anything, so you know. But the boss fight music, I could hear that kind of picked up and was doing that kind of like, you know, like repeating. The vocals are kicking in. You're hearing a bit of a choir, and you're hearing the you know, the escalation of things as you're doing damage and stuff. So yeah. Skate Story is the main thing I want to point y'all to. Just fucking, it's doing it. And it also looks like a game that, again, if you just come in from the skate park and you are fucking baked out of your mind, if you get nice and red and then sit down and play a game where you're a glass skater eating bagels and trying to eat the moon and puking and shit and a rabbit's running around and stuff, you're going to probably be very entertained by it. So, yeah. Eyes on that. Yeah, I mean, not much else to it really. That's the deal. And it was all in all, yeah, it was had a good time. Glad to be back and gonna this week though, like, so I have like a fuck ton of appointments and things going on. Tomorrow into Thursday and shit like that. So, yeah, like as I'm progressing on this diabetes journey, I'm gonna have to be taking some days to go take care of stuff regarding to that. So, pretty
best
much
of luck beating the diabetes.
Yeah, thank you. Like I said, I said, I think it's going.
I tried.
It's okay. It's going good. But regardless, my point in bringing this up is to say, so we're not going to be jumping back right away to the schedule. Probably going to come back around next week. So, like,
use the time to fucking chill out. It's the holidays.
There you go.
It's all the nebulous. I feel like the holidays extends from the first day of December to like the third week of January.
We get some leeway on it, yeah, but we'll see. Tomorrow I'm gonna go jump in an MRI machine and get the full fucking bzzz and see what happens.
Does that have to do with? I'm totally ignorant. What does that have to do with whatever's going on?
So basically, like, there's I'm getting I'm part of this program where I'm like, working on like, I'm gonna get a dietitian and I'm gonna get a physical trainer that is like assigned and a part of this research group that's trying to basically see if you're young and you have diabetes and you're not using any medication for it, we can get you into remission just with diet and exercise. And if you're part of the program, they provide that shit for you. So it's like, fuck yeah, I'll take that. And so in order to do that, they have to do a full body profile of you. And so that involves like, I did.
And you'd see where all the gross parts are.
Yeah. So I did remember, no, you wouldn't, but like 50 Cent in like one of his debuts was like running on the treadmill with all the fucking things and all the scans.
I remember.
Oh, okay. There
also, my dad had to do that test after his heart attacks.
Well, there you go. Right. So they did one of those to basically just be like, all right, we're going to get all the numbers on you so that when we do this, it's all data for a study. We're going to have it as accurate as possible. So they're like, they want that profile. They want the, how much oxygen you intake. Like while you're doing the thing, you have the fucking breather and you've got the all of it. And so the second part of the profile is to do the, get in the cone and do the MRI.
I really have to say, you've taken this time in the lab slightly too seriously.
I mean, to be fair, like the stuff I've been doing on my own is just like whatever, like stuff that I read into and go about in a fairly normal light. But this stuff is just like, oh, by the way, in addition to what you're already doing, we have this thing, and if you're interested in signing up for it, like it's for research, but if you're in it, the results will be fucking great. So I'm like, yeah, I'll fucking do that. Sure.
It's crazy.
Take my data.
I'm in my 30s now, and people are like, oh yeah, I got to go in for some tests. Oh, what are you going in for? Oh, I'm going in for an MRI, and I'm going in for, okay, cool. Do you remember what the conversation was when we were in college and somebody said, oh, I'm going in for some tests? Why? Oh, because they told me they'd give me $1,500 if I ate this pill for 2 months.
Right.
And they want to make sure my liver didn't shut down.
Right. So, yeah. This is not quite that. Nor is it the tests. It's more just like they want the data so that it can be part of the sample size. And then, you submit that and do your thing with it. Of course, there's always the chance of ending up in a control group, in which case, it's like,
oh yeah,
non-intervention.
Fucking placebo time.
Go do placebo exercise. That's not real. go do fake train wrong and actually put on weight, and we'll see what happens. What the fuck is placebo exercise and diet? You know, you're eating nothing. You thought it was food, but yeah.
Placebo exercise would actually probably be the existing old-fashioned tried and true exercise, and they want to compare if the new one is better than the old one.
So what they actually do, if you're in the control group, is just non-intervention. They're just like,
oh yeah,
continue as you were.
Just hand you big ice cream, and they're like, you know what, go for it, buddy. We need you. We need your numbers. You do you. You do you.
Yeah. No, like it would be unethical to tell people, hey, you know how you were about to improve your life? How about you stop that shit? Like can't
it's for
do
the greater
that.
good, man. We got lots of numbers here.
But the main thing, I think they're just like, don't join any like structured like official like program, but do whatever you were gonna do on your own.
Yeah.
And that's fine, you know. Or you get into the intervention and then you get all the cool stuff and the fucking, you know.
Oh, good for you, man.
Oh, yeah.
I'm glad you're able to access so many resources for this particular.
It was just really lucky that it's running in this window of time, you know. Super duper just lucky. So all that to say, yeah, I'm gonna be taking care of stuff relating to that in the near future and starting tomorrow. So you know, I'll keep you guys posted with a schedule on Twitter once things are up. But for now, yeah, we're gonna be probably just back next week. So that's about it.
Yeah, not much on my front. I have two things to say. I played the 14 patch this morning. It's good. They reworked Paladin. It's better. Thumbs up. I'm not going to go into the math on it because people will die. But there were some foundational problems with some of the classes that they cleaned up, so that's nice. I'm going to be streaming more of it after the podcast because I couldn't finish it all before the podcast. And the only other thing that I have to say is that, so the dog is 2 years, and he's born in June, so he's 2.5 now, and he has just hit that age where, as a bulldog, he goes from a rambunctious shithead to sleeping all of the time in my lap, and it is the best fucking thing ever. Heavy, and my leg goes numb because he's a fat piece of shit. But oh man, it's the best.
Finally brought those energy levels down to just
it's like
give up.
It's crazy. I spoke to some people who had bulldogs because like he lost, like all the energy just floated away. I'm like, oh, is that? No, that's just what happens. They hit like 2.5, and then they go and they just sleep on top of you for as much as they possibly can, and that's it. And they just smear their disgusting pig face on you and are cute. It's great. Awesome.
Give up face.
Disgusting dog. Smelly. Love him. Best dog. That is all. If you want to see, like this morning, I dragged him out of bed and he just slept on that blanket behind me for like the entire morning. Didn't moved like twice. Just great. If you want to see more stream shit, go down to twitch.tv/PatStaresAt. Doing streams this week. What else? Evil West is still really good.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I played more of it. It's really good. It's really cheap. It's really Xbox 360 game that time forgot. It's also really, really fucking good. It's great.
Yep. Yeah, and I guess with the second LP thing, I'm gonna come back with some homework done on where we're gonna go, but I think after giving Mass Effect a little bit more solo time, we're gonna roll into a second thing. So more on that next week though. All right. Oh, also. I wanted to give a shout out to our friend Gene, who just popped up a Last of Us article about the Last of Us show, which apparently is pretty good. Uh, and I'm curious to see what there are some changes, but they're like solid ones that are improvements. And I'm like, well, I trust that opinion on it, so I might take a glance, because at the end of the day, I still thought Last of Us 1 was a fucking super cool game, and I really liked it. So I would be curious.
The only confusion that I have is not against the show in particular, because like I really like Pedro Pascal, for example. It's just I wonder at the point of like taking a game that was pretending to be a TV show,
Right, and going
and
backwards
turning it
on
into
that.
a TV show. I kind of feel the same looking at Nier Automata, the anime, and I'm like, this is like translating manga or comics to like a different medium, like there's, or a book. But for the Nier Automata one, I watched a bunch of clips, and it's like, yeah, that's a shot-for-shot animated version of the scene from the game.
When
It's just like,
something is doing the it's referencing a style, but then that thing gets so popular that you just go backwards on it anyway. It is odd. It is definitely odd. But again, better to hear that than to hear a fucking Netflix
every
version,
single thing that came out about the Halo show as it was airing, for example.
Literally, yes, exactly. Anyways, okay, cool. Let's take a quick word from our sponsors, and then just
Let's do it.
Roll into some of the stuff. So this week, the podcast is sponsored by. Oh, why are you all squishy? Stop it.
Why? What? Our sponsor Squishy, or there's ad copy is Squishy? Did you screw up our ad copy?
Squishy copy. Hey, DoorDash is.
Oh man, I love DoorDash.
Yeah. So
Dash to my door. Give me a food now, please.
Food in mouth. You know what this is. It's look. We've got the goal here is to tell you guys about getting food to your door quickly, and it's good food that you want to eat, because you pick. If it was just like, hey,
get to your door. It can't get to your mouth unless it gets to your door.
See, like if it was like, hey, you open up DoorDash and then just press a button, and then like a meal would show up at your door. I mean, that'd be pretty cool, but it would be like nice if you could pick what you wanted. But guess what? It turns out you can. So holy shit, there's a value add. You pick the food you want, and then that shows up. And then you get you put your little contactless delivery, put the meal down, open the door, bam, there it is waiting for you. Nice and hot. And if there's a place nearby that you want to check out, that you're a fan of or that you want to support, you can keep them going, because over 300,000 business partners are on DoorDash, and they're constantly growing that stuff. So, there's been a couple places actually. There's a funny phenomenon that is like, there are restaurants I've ordered from a bunch of times, and then like now, like going on my walks, I walk and I see a place where I'm like, oh shit, it's that place. That's not the vibe I thought it was. When I when I was getting food from there, I was like, oh, that's way fancier than I thought.
I had a similar experience, which was like, oh, I forgot that these are real restaurants that food is being acquired from, and not just like a magic online store.
Yeah. Which they do have places that are like that, right? But like, there's a couple places where I'm like, oh, that's like a lit place with ambiance and seats and all that stuff, and I kind of just was like, I just get it hot in the box real quick, and we don't even have to do the whole like, sitting around waiting for the water bit, or spreading the bread. So all this to say, you want to get in on the food you love, get in on DoorDash. They got not just food as well, but household items, delivery, snacks, drinks, whatever you need. Essential items are available as well. For a limited time, our listeners can get 50% off up to a $20 value and 0 delivery fees when you download the DoorDash app and you enter the code CSB. So, new code there. That's a 50% off up to a $20 value and 0 delivery fees when you download the DoorDash app in the App Store and you enter the code CSB. don't forget code CSB for 50% off up to a $20 value and 0 delivery fees with DoorDash. Subject to change, terms apply. Thanks, DoorDash.
Thanks, DoorDash.
This week, we're also sponsored by Raycon, and it's a new year, a new opportunity to really just, again, get the wires out of your life. But realistically, again, though, the it's real simple. I have been enjoying wireless things that just don't, you don't gotta get them all tangled in the pocket. You don't have to figure out whether the port stopped working. I remember I had a expensive ass pair of headphones back in the day that were great until the inside of the wire port stopped working, and it was like what, it was horrible. So you get that out of the way, and then you also get your extra long battery life, your good fit, your 8 hours of playtime, 32-hour battery life. The ability to, of course, talk Bluetooth as well if you would like. And they've got over 50,000 5-star reviews, so check it out. I know that's again, Punch Bomb's been pretty much living in those things. The getting to sleep with them as well, playing stuff to fall asleep to, real comfy, and most importantly, noise isolation. So, I can be as much of an ass as I need to, and she won't hear anything. It's great.
Fantastic.
Yep. Just like the loudest farts.
Just listen.
Just go for it.
That means there's no warning. No warning.
Anyways, go to buyraycon.com/superbeast today and get 15% off your Raycon order. That's buyraycon.com/superbeast to score 15% off. BUYRAYCON.com/superbeast. Thanks, Raycon.
Thank you, Raycon.
And last but not least, this week the show is sponsored by Shopify. Cha-ching is the sound of a sale, and
you're right.
That's the onomatopoeia, Now, perhaps if I knew a thing about how to sell things, I would actually know what the new version of that would be, because
Only thing I know how to sell is my dignity.
Yeah, nothing goes cha-ching anymore because there's no cash registers, because you're just beeping
because you're just doing beep.
You're sweeping
beep,
your card
beep.
on the thing,
and then it says, "Please only put one card." And I'm like, I only have one card in my hand. What are you stupid robot? Just give me a cash register with a human being that can. Wait, there's no lever. What the fuck am I talking about? Anyway,
there's no lever, but there is a scan the shit yourself and do it yourself and bag it yourself. And
I like to say cha-ching when I pay for my own stuff.
Yeah, just don't make the mistake of double scanning it. Anyways, all of that aside, that's business things, but I don't know how to do any of that, and that's where something like Shopify comes in handy, because if you are growing your business and trying to get into commerce, sales, and finding ways to, I don't know, for example, if you have a podcast and you want to sell some t-shirts, that's the go-to example we go to, because I remember that being I don't know, then this is perfect for you. You basically get the ability to track your shipments, track your growth over time. You have complete control over your marketplaces. You have social media integration with it as well. They're on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, all these things. You get a all-in-one e-commerce platform to help you start selling stuff with your business and grow it to whatever scale your success will bring. So they've got 24/7 help, as well as an exclusive business course library you can check out as well to help your success along the way. So yeah, if you're doing dumb stuff like we are, and then you want to sell some shirts, you might be able to make use of this. Or if you've got actually good ideas and you want to get them to people worldwide, that might.
I don't know what it's like to have a good idea, so
that
I'm
might
glad
be
that we can help other people out with that.
there. You go. Right, that might be decent too. So check out Shopify. You can sign up for a $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/superbeast, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/superbeast, and you'll take your business to the next level. shopify.com/superbeast. Thanks, Shopify.
Thank you, Shopify.
All right, so what's going on?
Is everybody ready to start playing Basements and Wyverns, the legally distinct new role-playing game?
From Mages of the Beach?
Yeah.
Damn. I'm down. I had to look up the history of this because I didn't quite know exactly what it was going on. And then it turns out it's one of those things that's been around for a while and is
decades.
You're doing the thing, aren't you? Okay, Wizards of the Coast had something called OGL.
It's basically making Dungeons and Dragons open source.
Essentially, right? And it was an open license that could be used by anyone who wanted to basically make a homebrew D&D campaign. And it basically, it allowed you to do that, license it that way. And you could resell remixes of existing storylines. You could create new adventures, all sorts of things like that. And with that license, there was a massive growth to tabletop that was seen over, the years. That
it's like the single largest reason why D&D expanded the way it did through pop culture.
Yep. They created just an open license that allowed for people to, customize and do their own things. And that's also too why I've heard of so many like people doing their twist on a tabletop system. I mean, also like tabletop YouTubing and podcasts and all sorts of things like that have, blown up as well with custom games and things because, lots of people want to play in a system that is, a more unique setting in a lot of cases. And sometimes if someone's put a lot of work into that and they want to sell that campaign, they can, right? So this OGL license was basically at 1.0 prior to August of last year. And then once that happened, they announced their plans for 1 D&D, which is going to be a big update to 5th edition.
The new D&D. It's the new edition. They're calling it 1, but it's the new edition.
Yeah, I mean, I remember when like AD&D, right? Like you throw the word advanced onto it.
Yeah, there's been AD&D. There's been D&D, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
5
we're dealing with now,
etc. Exactly. So that's it. So this is the next major announcement.
It's essentially 6.
But with that came the announcement that version 1.1 of OGL, the open game license, was also going to be revealed. And the update to version 1.1 was going to invalidate all previous existing OGL licensed
Yeah, it makes
products.
the old OGL not valid.
So this was not a optional thing. This was if you're using this, you must opt in to the new system. Okay, so what was the new system going to consist of then? Well, the document, which is apparently 10 times longer than the previous document, basically just puts a ton of restrictions on your original the monetization aspect of it. And the main things it did was it essentially said, you have to give us 25% of whatever you're selling if you're using this, and more or less we own all of it. and we own all of it, and we have the ability to, without royalties, use it as we see fit anywhere for any period of time for whatever. So you can use our license, but you got to pay us a cut, and also we own it.
So there's a lot of, nitty gritty in here that is of importance. So one of the like, why would they do this? Well, Hasbro bought D&D, and Hasbro's the fucking worst hobby company that's ever fucking existed, and looks at D&D and goes, D&D, I think that's a quote, D&D is woefully under monetized. So they're like, well, how can we get more money out of D&D? And they look at a couple things. They look at Critical Role making a shit zillion dollars and not paying them a dime. They look at fucking Cyberpunk and Pathfinder having built their entire fucking franchises off of variants of D&D back in the day, and them getting shit all. And it's basically Hasbro looking at D&D the same way that Blizzard looked at fucking Dota and went,
you are not monetizing.
Shit.
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah.
Fuck, we fucked that up.
Now, for people who are saying, well, fuck this, guys, just go play Pathfinder. Like, no. Pathfinder, 1st and 2nd edition, 13th Age, Fudge, Traveler, these are all things that are under the OGL license because they were based on D&D to begin with. So these are the types of things that would either have to stop publishing new content altogether or pay the 25%, and also, of course, hand over the ownership entirely of their.
Well, that becomes a
campaigns.
legal question, because, like, if they published it under the OGL years ago, you can't retroactively invalidate a contract like that, right? Like, that would be a fight over lawyers.
Is second edition not part of OGL? The article I'm looking at says that it is, so that's the only reason why I'm saying it. But
well, it would be under the old OGL, which is when it would be published. The issue would then become anything from, like, the next one on, like, if Pathfinder wanted to make a new one that's also based off of D&D in some format, then that would be, like, it basically it stops them from making anything new. Right, so, like, Critical Role, but Critical Role's been going for years, right? Yeah, but the new season of Critical Role is a new thing that would have to be under the new OGL.
They also do
Wizards
have
of the Coast says they can do it retroactively, but I'm sure the people who run Paizo, who's the Pathfinder people and whatnot, would fight them in court over whether or not they can just retroactively destroy an agreement.
So it seems like the OGL also has specific laws and specific rules for larger creators, and like, if you have sales above 750K, for example, you're in a different category of but at the same time, even though there's a different category specified for a certain rule set, it still is, like, going to apply that ownership stuff to the smaller groups as well. So at the end of the day, essentially everyone who's a Wizards of the Coast, like, OGL user is basically, like, pushing back aggressively on this and calling for this is bullshit, because the idea of them, kind of going like, well, you're fine to do this as long as you give us your property, is probably the most insane step you could take in the direction of, hey, we're not monetizing, let's try to fix that, and then you take it to, like, 200%. That's insane.
Yeah, the other thing is that this is kind of like the legality of like copywriting mechanics is so nebulous and not real that like, I can see somebody saying, like, hey, this system that uses the word Thaco and takes place in Forgotten Realms, yeah, no, you can't do that. But what about Thanaco and I forgot about it zone?
Yeah,
with Drizzle.
Sure. And like when talking about the whole thing with like different scales of creators using the license, like if you make a Kickstarter, if you have a crowdfunded project, you have to pay a royalty on that as well.
Yeah.
They have a specific deal with Kickstarter so that it incurs a 20% royalty fee, but anyone else is 25%. But like if you're literally just being like, hey, I have an idea for a thing I want to use, a tabletop I want to create, and I want to gather interest for it, you have to take a chunk of that and go, Wizards owns a quarter of this right off the bat before the project even exists.
Yeah, so somebody in the chat just pointed out something very appropriate, which is you cannot copyright D&D mechanics because they're a statistical interpolation. A D20 is just a 5% chance, right? Mm-hmm. Like, you can't copyright the fucking 5% as a mechanic. You can copyright the phrase natural 20.
Sure.
Right? If that's been long time associated, blah blah blah. So like so people are also pointing out Magic is like there's stuff happening with Magic because it's also under Hasbro and it's also happening at the same time. Magic is selling like $1,000 fucking packs of non-legal cards.
Right. Yes. The like collectors thing that I think we talked about before is just
like just Hasbro's fucking going nuts. Right. And all I see is people like just en masse. Like I see D&D people, like, you know, the people with the wall of D&D books, and just going like, there are direct alternatives for all of this that are like comparable, and many of which are just completely free. Hey, you motherfuckers want to start playing GURPS? Go play GURPS. Why not?
Well, whatever the fuck that is. Jesus Christ.
Oh, you're not familiar with GURPS?
No. What does that stand for?
GURPS is the ancient role-playing system that Fallout uses in a modified form. It was supposed to be, but GURPS is too complex, so they toned it down.
Yeah, I have to imagine, like, with the resurgence of pen and paper over the years, and then with Kickstarter pen and paper as well, and all this blow up, you have a thriving, huge community that's in touch with each other that has very little to do with Wizards if you want. Because the part where, where's the exact terminology here? So Wizards of the Coast is granted sweeping, non-exclusive, perpetual, irrevocable, worldwide, sub-licensable, royalty-free license to use that content for any purpose, right? So the lawyers got all of it. They got every aspect of it there. And if you're like, and the thing is, I guess I'm just kind of wondering, I'm like, what would the real world application of having that type of power like be? Like, are they gonna just straight up like lift a character or a complete setting or a thing? And it's like, yeah, if they like an idea enough, they would probably just take that aspect and go, yeah, we're going to roll that out officially in some way, shape, or form. The best ideas of it.
I think
there's no answer.
They say this is under monetized. They canceled every D&D game aside from Baldur's Gate. And
video game.
Yeah, every single D&D video game got canceled except for Baldur's Gate. And I am absolutely certain that the reason why they did not cancel Baldur's Gate is because they could not cancel Baldur's Gate. Because there's an agreement that says that we can put this fucking game out.
Okay. So I may be getting some of the details of this wrong, just fair warning. So, I mean, check out the links to the story and go into it. And, like, I know hashtag OpenD&D is the main place where people are like writing in about it and trying to push back against this idea.
It's crazy because D&D is kind of the perfect copyright test for this kind of thing. They are attempting to assert dominance over the rules of make-believe.
yeah right
And like there are so many
our pretend
obvious
system
concrete ways to sidestep that Like, there's a fucking massive, in-depth FF14 D&D campaign homebrew setting that is top to... There's a Warhammer one. There's a Warcraft one. Like, people are already... D&D players respect copyright the least of almost any group I could ever think of. Yes, Spider-Man is in the bag of holding. Who's gonna stop you at your own fucking basement table?
Did your thoughts are need to pay a 25% royalty if your DM gets too creative?
The only thing more ridiculous than this would be like fucking porn studios trying to fucking copyright your beat off thoughts in your head because it has copyrighted actors in it.
The other bit with the story too is that like this was a leak. I think it came from Gizmodo.
Man. So somebody was like, this is bullshit, I'm gonna get this out, and everybody get mad, so they tone it the fuck down.
So yeah, there was a leaked document from December that revealed all this licensing stuff, basically. So this wasn't actually officially put out to begin with.
It's just so frustrating because like I can mentally create the whole scene. Some guy that had literally heard about Dungeons and Dragons 35 minutes ago when he was told to go into the meeting goes, why does this Critical Role thing not pay us? We could make so much money if we made them pay us. And then the guy who goes, people only know about our goddamn thing because of Critical Role. They'll just play some Cthulhu shit or Pathfinder if you do this. And they go, but no, they won't. No, the brand that I heard about 10 minutes ago, the brand.
So like the bit where it's like, again, the explosion of popularity is based on the fact that people were able to take their own thing and make variations of it is lost on somebody who is feeling like they have not been allowed to wet their beaks, you know? And when you, and every time, and like, yeah, and every dollar made that we don't get a quarter out of is money on the table. That's the way to look at it. Plain and simple.
Like, the only reason people care about fucking D&D is because for most of our lives, it's existed as a set of rules that you could do whatever you wanted with. That's it. Like, if D&D was a hardcore board game like Monopoly and you had to play Monopoly a certain way and you fucking couldn't do this or that with Monopoly, nobody gives a fucking shit about Monopoly.
Okay, but also, like, if that child takes a piece of paper and draws some lines on it and then rolls dice, and then his skylight gets kicked in with a SWAT team dropping down, you know what I mean? Like, because your concept that you're in your own head, the shit that you're thinking of is fucking owned by us. How fucking dare you? Yeah. Anyway, I imagine, like, people will, as we said earlier, be setting up mages of the beach, you know, and just going about their own way.
You are gonna see people, say this comes out as is, you are going to see the absolute fucking bleeding edge of legal distinctiveness. You are going to see people try their hand at, like, man, just how close can you get?
Draw one of 20 cards.
Now, we don't have cards, so we use what's called the random sphere of square sides.
Shake the magic 8 ball.
Sphere represent the card.
Shake the magic 8 ball and see what pops up. Yeah, like, or a spinner. Yeah, spin the wheel of 20 numbers and see what happens. Yeah. Wizards of the Coast has declined to comment on the leaked document. So, I guess we'll see what happens.
I fucking bet.
But you know what they are willing to comment on?
What's that?
the new live-action Dungeons and Dragons TV series in the works at Paramount Plus.
Nobody cares, dude. Dungeons and Dragons is a fucking... It's a set of ingredients. It's not a if they were adapting Forgotten Realms novels, yeah, okay, those are stories that exist.
Now, I know when you think of Dungeons and Dragons media, everybody is going straight back to that old cartoon with the creepy old man and the like the rotoscoping. But who remembers the fucking mid-aughts movie?
Oh, that thing is a piece of shit, dude. It's a total misunderstanding of Dungeons and Dragons. It's just like, we're gonna go fight all the enemies in the monster manual, and then it's like, who gives a shit? Who gives a fuck?
Like, what? Am I even accurate in saying mid-aughts? What year was it?
That was the 90s, man.
It might have been the 90s.
There's only one thing that I don't know if I've said
Irons.
this before, but there's only one thing I want out of this D&D movie that I'm not gonna watch. I want a main character to fucking die horribly. And then I want a similar character to show up for no reason, played by the same actor that just died. I think that is the most...
Marlon Wayans! What?
I think that is the most appropriate D&D thing that could happen.
Yeah.
Beer Fest did that. Did you ever see Beer Fest?
No.
Beer Fest has this insane. First of all, that's like a dumbass drinking bro movie. It's fine, but there's a guy named Landfill that dies by drowning in beer, and then 10 minutes later, his brother from Texas, Landfill 2, shows up, and it's the same actor. And then he takes the cowboy hat and stops doing a Southern accent. It's like they literally just wanted to have a scene where the guy died in the beer, but didn't want the movie to change. It's fucking hilarious.
That's great. That's a solid bit. Yeah. So, and of course the Paramount Plus was where the Halo TV show was also located, just in case anyone forgot. So, good stuff happening with D&D. Good stuff.
Yeah, good stuff.
Big excitement,
dude. Hey, what? Pathfinder is gonna fucking fight the shit out of them on this.
Is that the most popular derivative?
I'm not sure if it's the most popular, but it's definitely the one that's the closest to it. Okay. Pathfinder was a response to 3rd edition D&D by fucking Vorthoses that were like, no, we need every conceivable mechanic imaginable in this game, and then they made Pathfinder for Psychos.
And
was it 4th? Okay.
The part where they address Kickstarters too is like exactly going into the history of that, and like,
wait, Pathfinder's rules are free? Oh, well then fucking just move to fucking Pathfinder, idiots. We're like, this shit is done.
And yeah, it also mentioned that it covers stuff like NFTs and stuff as well. Like it's a full 9,000.
Boo the fucking space hamster NFT. Here we go.
Anyway, we'll see what happens with that. But until then, everyone, guard your ideas, and I don't know, go to sleep holding a weapon in your hand so that when you become a dream warrior and Wizards of the Coast try to sue you in your dreams,
copyright your thoughts,
you can fight them with the dream warrior weapon you've been holding.
I really cannot overstate what a stupid bad idea this was. There is a custom D&D module for literally every fucking franchise you could conceivably think of. I am not personally familiar with. However, I'm about to type in Dungeons and Dragons Mass Effect 5th edition at n7.world. Yeah, no shit. Right? And all this is going to change is that people are going to make their fucking homebrew nonsense out of Pathfinder or GURPS or fucking, you know, what are the others? It stands for generic universal role-playing system. No, I will not stop talking about
that's
GURPS.
enough
I will
GURPS
not.
That's enough GURPS for one episode.
It is not enough GURPS for any episode.
It's too much. Why all this noise about GURPS now?
Yeah. Hey, guess what? Somebody pointed out, hey, this is a sudden stab in the ass to the KOTOR remake, which uses the Advanced Dungeons & Dragons 3.0
sure
rules.
Does. I mean, shit, dice pop up when you roll in disco, right?
Yeah. You can't copyright
dice rolling.
Fucking dice.
Does any game use a D20 in its visual?
Yeah, the only one that can think of that uses a D20 in its visuals is actually Baldur's Gate 3, which has you rolling a fictional D20. But that's actually licensed.
That's Baldur's Gate. Yeah.
But also, you can't copyright the idea of a dodecahedron.
Right.
You can't copyright a generalized geometric shape.
Well, you could also just like get rid of the shape and just make the number pop up because our random generator used it, you know.
Yeah.
Anyway, this is stupid.
That's what fucking
the story is stupid.
Pillars does. It does math that's not really applicable to dice and just gives you the fucking number.
Right. Hey, you know what's fucking sick? Every time I worked on a game and then it came out and then got fucking completely ignored in the credits, that felt great. That was super cool.
I'm sure it did, buddy. I'm sure it felt real good to be the invisible hand propping up that game.
And sometimes, if you're really lucky, they'll just thank the logo of the company you work for.
Or not.
You like it
or
depends
not.
on. No, but that's what I'm saying. That's my point. Like in a lot of cases, right? So, and here's the thing too. Some of that is based on the third-party QA will sometimes advertise the fact that, hey, do you want us to test this game quietly in stealth? And do you want nobody to know that we helped you with it? That's fine, right? We can also be like, okay, don't credit us. We will be the secret extra eyes while you fucking do whatever corporate moves you're doing.
And let me ask you something. What was the name of that company? Was it VMC Game Labs?
VMC Volt.
So VMC Game Labs is a really good example of that, because when I'd see that on the credits, I'd be like, oh wow, yeah, this game's gonna be a busted piece of shit. Because there are a low-end fucking bunch of hacks that suck ass.
But the name showing up there with the credits wasn't about like what you like. It wasn't about the quality indicator. It was more so about like trying to make it seem as if this was entirely done by in-house staff and that they didn't do any outsourcing whatsoever, which is for some reason a perception thing. All this to preamble to say that if you're third-party QA and that happens, there's a bunch of games I've worked on that I have no credits for. That sucks, right? That feels bad. If I worked directly at the fucking studio, like, for example, Striking Distance Studios, who made Callisto Protocol, and then they were like, yeah, you know what? Thanks for putting on your 30 days plus, which is the minimum required to get a credit on a game. But we don't like you, so we're just not going to credit you. Just based on office politics and vibes, really. Over an estimated 20 developers were just left out of the credits of Callisto Protocol, just cause, really.
You know, Glenn Schofield talked about. I know you didn't, but I know people who follow Dead Space 1 and 2 did. Glenn Schofield would do interview after interview after interview after interview about how all the ideas that came out in those Dead Space games were his ideas, and how he was watching horror movies every single night and telling people, oh, you got to check this out, you got to take this, just over and over and over. And it was this very much like auteur kind of thing. And then he went and made Call of Duty for a while and brought a lot of that team over. And then Callisto Protocol has like none of that at all. And it's made by like people who like don't understand the games they already made. So the idea of taking credit for stuff that you didn't do or denying credit to people who did do it is not new to the makers of Callisto Protocol.
So I thought you were gonna say dude was going on about the like we're all working super hard, we're in it, we're crunching voluntarily.
No, specifically the credit in which like Glenn Schofield took a massive amount of credit for the creative direction of 1 and 2.
Yeah. Okay.
So that's what Callisto Protocol wrote on, was like, oh, the creative mind behind Dead Space.
Right.
And then none of it's there, and you can tell that it's not the same creative direction at all. And you're like, oh, cool. It was somebody else on the team that you took credit for and pretended it was you.
But either way, there's just something hilarious about like the sentiment that is we're all crunching super hard and voluntary. We work hard, we play hard. That's how we all get it done. So proud of this team. What team? Who? No one. Me. What? Who? No one. None of don't nah. Nuh-uh. I'm so proud of these ghosts whose faces are being erased as you look at them.
Pulling this out of my ass, I have no inside knowledge. This is just my gut. That kind of feels like those people just didn't work hard enough, quote unquote, to get into the credits. Right?
So,
like that's just a gut feeling, like based off of nothing. Just like, oh yeah, you guys weren't here every single weekend. Why would we put you in the credits? You didn't even really
by working hard enough. If we're going to use the metric from those tweets, it would be then people not showing up 15 hours a day for 7 days a week. I believe was what we were talking about. Yeah.
Hey Jim, you're looking too healthy. Doesn't look like you're working hard enough. Is that a full meal? Are you kidding me? You kidding me? Why do your eyes look human? Where's the bags? Where's those suitcases?
So it's just it just, you know, none of that is made better by the fact that the game came out, and as you guys were mentioning about it, just not
so
quite
fucking aggressively mid, dude.
But yeah, and this is not the thing about the story is that like it's the most notable thing about the story is that it's not notable, right? There's tons of examples of this, and again, the general recommendation is if you've worked on like there are times, for example, back in the day where there would be like someone jumps on, but in QA at the very least, someone would jump on a project for literally like a weekend, right?
Yeah.
And it'd be like, okay, yeah, like you touched it for a second, and like that's not going to get put on the list. But the general recommendation is anyone who does 30 days should be considered on that list, you know? And it's not hard to like literally just have everyone who's sending you end of day reports, you know, you have that and you have their tasks, and you know exactly who those people are. So the stuff that's accompanying this story about just like it's being based on just, you know, literally preferential treatment, arbitrary, just vibes, how much I like you or don't like you, and it's just like, yeah, you work here and you get paid and this is what you've been doing, but how about fuck you though? How about that? You know?
This ties right into I don't it's not a specific story, but like you notice that more and more QA studios and QA departments are managing to unionize. That's a fascinating fucking development.
It is. It appears to be happening, but also there's like it's happening more and more, but there's also the like shutdown artist stories that are coming out too alongside it, right? And then I didn't read it, but I saw a headline about like, did Microsoft
they bought a pro union ad in the Washington Post, which I believe Microsoft has a union, like Microsoft proper has a union. It's just, I can't wait to see, because eventually we're gonna hit the weird moment where devs at a studio are like, why does the fucking QA team have a union? and we don't have a union. Right? That to me is the tipping point.
It could certainly be, but already the use of the phrase "the fucking QA team" denotes an energy that I spent a solid decade of my life fighting.
I feel like I hit the energy on the head with that personally from the way you describe it.
That exact like fucking adjective actually is kind of the problem. But regardless, yes.
Why do these fucking losers have a union rep? They're getting a leave. They can't be forced into salaried overtime. This is bullshit. These losers, these QA losers, these people that are ruining our game. They're putting ruining our bugs in our game, and they're getting to go home
injecting
and
malicious
see
code.
Their kids. This is bullshit.
Often. Many a time, the contract we would be on would be, since you're not salaried, you're on, you're on wages. You would actually be forced into overtime more often, depending on the studio. At Squeenix, IDOS, it was like devs could, they punch in or punch out like X number of hours in whatever configuration they would like to. If you want to completely like take 2 days and then put them into like a weekend or do whatever you want to do, as long as you get to this task by this milestone. Whereas we were all about man hours and yada yada. Anyways, credit the fucking people who make your video games, you pieces of shit.
So we'll get to see. I mean, it wasn't 30 days. It was actually only 1 day. But we'll get to see what New Blood and how they handle their credits. And we'll see if I'm in the credits for Ultra Kill because I did QA on that game for 1 evening. Because Dave sent me a fucking build of the code because there was a room in like the second level that didn't run very well with like one of the options turned on.
Well, just do it for 30 days and then, then you have to be.
I don't want to.
Well, your skeleton's
QA
already
sucks.
there.
My skeleton is already in there, yeah.
So
my tiny baby skeleton.
Okay, and then
I made Ultra Kill. It was
you made this. I made this.
Yeah, I made this.
New license. New Pastorat license.
I think my favorite variation of this is I saw a guy that blamed me for ruining Warframe because I'm the person who like recommended like FF14 and JoJo's Bizarre Adventure to Rebecca, and thus anything that she did that person didn't like is now my fucking fault, and it's great. It's great.
Sick. That is fucking sick. I love it. Hell yeah.
Of course, the point being is that Rebecca is incredible and talented and smart, much smarter than me.
I would love to be blamed for things that happen in fighting games. Like if every time
most
a girl
tangential fucking
like anytime a girl with abs shows up in a fighting game, they're like, "Thanks, fucking Wooly, for this bullshit ruining the genre."
I am sure there is a 6 degrees of separation that you can do to blame you for Darly Dagger's inclusion.
I would love it.
That one is like it's so fucking close that like I feel like there you could do it if you really wanted to.
Although yeah, I do know that over the years Max has definitely laid his thoughts out in ways that sometimes get
Max has influence
echoed into reality.
Max can say, "Yo, this sucks," and somebody somewhere who matters will actually hear it.
But yeah, quick other things going on that note, actually. So I'd say super notable, and
I have one.
Oh, okay.
I actually have one in which I can be blamed for something in a game. It's a communal effort, but the idiots like me who hung out on the GameFAQs board for Devil May Cry 3, the about 20 to 40 super fans that posted on that board every day, are actually directly responsible for fucking that game's difficulty up in North America. Because Ben Judd, at the time working on DMC3 as Itsuno-san's translator, came to that board and asked the GameFAQs board, hey, how hard do you think the game should be? And me and like 20 other guys just screaming for hundreds of posts, DMC only got fun on hard mode, make it as hard as DMD, blah blah blah. And that was the emotional feedback that was then taken to Itsuno for the localization of that game, so they kicked the fucking difficulty up a full notch.
Just
and then
for
the reviews started to come out, and the reviews were, this game is so fucking hard, what kind of psycho would make a game this hard? And I was like, shit.
If I'm not mistaken, didn't although like wasn't 2 the result of listening to fan feedback way too hard?
I don't know, but
that's the rumor.
The intensity of make DMC3 super hard was because 1 was hard but cool, and 2 was easy and not cool. So therefore, if you made it twice as hard, it'd be twice as cool.
Okay. There you go. That's good blame right there. All right.
Wait, Amp. Does somebody in the chat just point out, does that mean I'm in some way responsible for easy mode is now selectable?
Well, no, because at that point, remember that the game is still the same. It's just the localized version changed what was normal and what wasn't, right? It wasn't the planning of the original Japanese release of the game.
Yeah, but I mean the phrase in English.
And Godhand did the same thing too, right?
Yeah.
Fucking with the difficulty for localization purposes. So we had seen it in other circumstances.
Sure, you've ruined something in fighting games. I'm absolutely certain.
You
might have ruined that fucking Blanca costume. Remember it got banned right after the Evo that you used it?
It did get banned. I don't know. Maybe. But that now we have the best costume in all of Street Fighter history for Blanca, so
yeah, no, that's
you know.
I would say Blanca's Blanca-chan costume is the best costume
they've ever had.
Any character in Street Fighter, because it's so much better than his original design that I feel like there's no reason to ever have real Blanca come back ever again.
It's great. When I hop, is my hitbox where the feathers are, or is it where my body is?
Yeah, that thing was bullshit, dude. That thing was a pile of fucking shit.
God bless. Anyways, okay, so here's a story that I am legitimately reluctant to even bring up because it means further difficulty in my life, but here we go.
Let's do it. Let's ruin your life. Let's do it.
Okay, so they just announced.
Hold on. Somebody pointed out there is something that you ruined. You ruined Ultra Kill's minigun.
What did I do?
Your playthrough of Ultra Kill was the stated reason for why that weapon got nerfed.
Hackito, what did you do? What did he do? What happened? I was using it. I was enjoying the bullets, and I would put the bullet blossom and then shoot it out. And it got nerfed? They hit it?
Yeah, it got nerfed directly because of your video.
Was I fucking enjoying myself too much with it? What's the problem? That's amazing. That's fucking hilarious. That gun was sick. I loved it. Anyways.
This means we gotta do more Ultra Kill videos and just start complaining super hard, like, oh, this gun's super weak. It's really bad.
Just flip a coin and then fucking unload on it. You're done. It's fine. That's amazing. That's pretty fun. Hell yeah.
Yeah,
okay.
It went from infinite ammo to recharging ammo.
Okay. Yeah, let me just fucking.
Hey, I'm gonna put this out for emails. If you guys have any foreknowledge
Proof?
of us ruining stuff, please, by all means, reach out.
If you have receipts, I would love to see. I would love to take credit for ruining genres. That's great. Um,
Gianni was on stream and saw that Wooly was playing Neon White, and he commented, "I can't wait. Oh God, I can't wait for him to destroy that game's balance." And
we'll have to see. I'll you know, again, I can. It was getting pretty. It was getting better when I last touched. So,
all right, let's ruin your life with something.
So the NYXI, so the Nyxi controller, which was advertised as the driftless Switch controller,
Oh, I saw people talking about that yesterday.
has now been announced and released. It's a GameCube style controller for the Switch. It is driftless. It has high quality parts. The way that it's driftless is because there's no actual contacts. It uses magnets to actually determine the inputs, and you can swap out the sticks with this and their contact points if anything ever goes wrong, or if you want to swap them between the C stick and the actual regular stick. It's a high-end fucking controller, and it also is it's a GameCube style controller, so you can do your smashing with it, but you can split it in half as Joy-Cons and put the screen in the middle and play with the screen in between as regular Joy-Cons as well.
Cool.
It's a fucking sick-ass looking controller, and with all that quality and shit, the fucking thing costs $70. So I have been hammering...
Like a real normal,
like a real controller. I have been
like
hammering their website
fucking whatever. Okay. Yeah, I see
all
what you mean
day. And the website has been crawling because everyone is trying, and I have it in my cart, but I can't fucking check out. And I'm
Oh my God. So wait, have you been trying to do this while we've been talking?
The entire time.
Before you get to the story, when you will make it... Oh man, oh, this sucks!
Before the podcast started, I've been constantly trying to check out, and I'm unable to do so. But here we are, in the sake of just telling the story. If you want to get one, fuck you, I want mine first, but you can go to Nyxi game and get it. It looks incredible. It looks so fucking good. Ships worldwide too, so fuck. Regular price for a high quality controller with contactless parts that can be swapped out just in case you need to, and it can be
sold out.
Mother. Well, that would explain it then.
Yeah, that would explain it.
Okay.
Well,
brilliant fucking product. There's a ton of times when, like, there's Switch games that I'm like, it's weird, but there's some games that feel better using Joy-Cons and some games that are better using the controller plus, Pro or whatever. And yeah, a GameCube style controller would be a super awesome solution for a lot of that. Also, the buttons glow, just cause why the fuck not? And all of that for a normal controller price, or at least not like a ridiculous premium, seems so insane that I'm just like, yeah, give me fucking 2 of these immediately. Better battery life as well.
Instead of 2, you will receive 0.
Well, I'm gonna do my best to see what's possible, but fuck yeah, okay. Well, go check it out. It's really cool. It's a super like good idea. And you know, for a while too, Switch controllers things were like the unofficial ones were like had to be connected to the screen because, you know, they didn't have the full-on connectivity bits and stuff. But yeah, this seems to solve all the problems. So yay on that. And also, it doesn't seem like you're gonna, like, if it's broke, don't fix it has been a thing that's, you know, the way to go. But like, it would be great if there were like contactless Sanwa parts at some point down the line, just because, like, you know, JLF sticks kind of like you do have to replace them after the rubber wears down and shit. So anyways, there's that. And then, yeah, just quick other little bits here. The worst part of Guilty Gear Strive is now resulting in hackers fucking up other people's games. So the R code system has always been terrible, and
I still don't understand what the system's stated goal even is, because every time I've hit that button, my game basically just freezes for multiple minutes.
Like, they've improved the speed of it, but it suffers from the exact same issues as the logging in screen, which is a million server calls for no fucking reason. And a ton of just like data chugging and packets, and everything just falls apart the moment you hit the R code button. What the point they're trying to do is to create just literally just a like almost like a CFN account with Street Fighter. It's like, this is your profile, this is your stats with all of your characters, and then here's a collection of your replays, here's a collection of your combo recipes, and here's, you know, a quick way to access all those things or add you as a friend and track which park you're in if I want to go find you when you're online, right? So it's just it's fucking rich presence, to bring that word back.
I fucking hate rich presence. I'll fight you.
You love it, GURP.
I'm a generic universal role playing. Bracket system.
It's GURP. It's not GURP. It's rich presence again, and generic universal rich presence. Actually, is the right way to describe that. You fucking apparently can find a way to target a specific person's R code and hammer it to the point where, if you know they're online, their game will slow down. Online matches, park matches, training while online, whatever the case may be, you can affect someone else's game. What this results in specifically has been streamers of Guilty Gear Strive, you know, like Hotashi, for example, is like, while he's live on stream, his fucking game starts playing like shit, getting blown up. Apparently, it also can be done on console as well, so it's not just the Steam version. It's a dumb-ass thing they need to just get rid of at this point, it feels. Or just overhaul it aggressively.
Like, I don't... Cheating to win in a game that has no stakes and is your pastime has the same energy of going down to your fucking local pickup game at the baseball diamond with the fucking corked bat and pine tar on your hands. Like, what kind of fucking psycho is going through the trouble for this shit?
So it's not so much the dude trying to play and win on a worse connection game. It's griefers who are watching your stream who just want your shit to come down, right? It's targeted DDoS.
Oh, okay.
You have access to enemy codes.
Enemy codes have returned.
Enemy codes have returned in the form of fucking R codes, and if people know you're online, they can fuck your game.
People know you're online, they can turn your R code into their hard R code.
There you go. And you know, by being a popular streaming player, you're just a target at all times. Fucking sucks.
Wonderful.
Yeah, so yeah, Sejam he's switched over to Vampire Survivors until they fucking fix this. And exactly, yeah, Hotashi's been reporting in on it. Like, it's just, you know.
Did you see the interview with the Vampire Survivors creator about the mobile release of that game?
I didn't.
They had a really hard time getting it out on mobile because every publisher they went to was like, you need to fuck this thing up with gambling. And he's like, no, it's a gambling game with no gambling.
What do you mean no micro?
Fuck it up with microtransactions.
They all refused to work on the mobile port because there was no micro. That's amazing. Shit. It's like the weird part is that, I mean, my impression of how that industry worked, at least a couple years ago, was you approach someone with a pitch and then you define the terms of what you need them to do, not like, no, we will only take this on if we get a cut of that sweet mini buy, that sweet like child's credit card money, you know. Yeah, so there you go. The shit that Fortnite is getting in trouble for is
good old dark patterns.
Vampire Survivors said no to dark patterns.
This game does not have enough dark patterns. I don't know why.
We can't do business with you. If you like, not even one. You're telling me you want us to port this to mobile? Yes.
Not
and
even
you don't,
a single dark pattern.
You don't even want one dark pattern. Yeah.
Nonsense.
Anyway. Okay. Shingo's back in KOF 15, and he should have been the protagonist.
He really should have.
He's looking great though.
It should be Shingo's time to shine. It's been fucking decades.
He's now out of school, and like now he's just Kyo's manservant. It seems. Just,
all right, that's a little strange.
He's he's fetching, like Kyo's like, hey, go buy this for me, and he's like, oh yeah, sure, right. Wait, no, fuck you, no, but. I don't know. It's a bit unclear, but either way, Shingo's back, and he got the, like Sakura growing up and working at the arcade type thing.
Yeah,
he's got that thing going on, and that's cool because I like Shingo. I want big things for him, but I think he should have been the fucking protagonist of the franchise at this point.
No, here's a weirdo with magic arms,
but headphones though.
Fucking whatever. I hate that guy's design so fucking much. Don't like it.
Yeah, but if you were a high school kid that had a tie and a uniform that, also wore headphones and put your hair in front of your face.
Why would I want the cool character I'm playing as to look anything like me?
Yeah. Why do generic insert harem protagonists always just look like fucking Shiki Tono? I don't know. Man.
Listen, I've been arguing with everyone for my whole life, like, oh, you're gonna play World of Warcraft? Oh, you're gonna play a human? No, I'm gonna play like a fucking ugly dog man.
Someone was playing
the monster person.
Someone was playing their porn game, and there was a generic, like, Japanese student protagonist whose eyes were visible, and they got upset because the eyes reminded them too much of not themselves. So then people started making the eyes invisible to add that extra level of that's definitely me. Now for sure it feels like me.
I don't
like bro. We're way past this point.
Just throwing my hands up for people who listen to the audio version. I'm just throwing my hands up and rolling my eyes.
Yeah.
Like I can't.
Yeah. You know the haircut. It's the haircut where the fucking eyes are covered because you God forbid the eye color is wrong or some shit. I don't know. Anyways, hey, let's take some letters. What's going on?
If you want to send a letter into Castle Super Beast, send it to castlesuperbeastmail@gmail.com. That's castlesuperbeastmail@gmail.com.
All right.
What's our fault?
Okay. Well, a lot of people wanted to talk about deck building.
Oh, I specifically avoided talking about it during my week.
Okay.
Specifically, but
well,
fine.
If we squeeze it in the letter section,
get the good one. Get the one good email that came in.
I can't promise that this is the good one, but
it's not.
It appears to be the introduction of the topic at the very least. Hey guys, Zoidberg here. Writing in advance, living in a different time zone. Yada yada yada. Bullet points. I was watching Pat's stream where he was playing One Step from Eden and Slay the Spire. Tried to understand where the fun is in those deck building games. He tried to understand. When talking about card games, he said that it was mostly not net decking and playing with a complete optimized deck that I guess was fun. So this tells me that Pat just doesn't enjoy building decks, and that's fine. To me, deck building games are fundamentally different from a CCG, however. In CCG, deck building is a process you go through before you start playing the game, and you need to make the most optimal deck with the cards that are available. To play, you play, you make some adjustments, and you play some more. Some players like that gameplay loop. Others are net decking and skipping it. It doesn't change much. You still get to play the game that everyone else plays. In deck building, all the cards are available to the player, but hidden behind some kind of resource that you have to earn during the game. All decisions are made about what type of deck the player is going to build cards that are being given, etc., are again, you have to be earn those things. The more you play, the more you can feel what the decks and cards are good at and how they work together. You can still net deck in a sense, and in that you can read up on certain card combos and stuff that you might get in a run, but sometimes the thing you're looking for might never show up. Big thing that chat was crazy. You should not.
Yo, those motherfuckers was crazy.
You should not take every card. Pat clearly understands the probability of a deck. He just wants more moves. That's true in a sense. You get more moves, but that after a while, your deck will be full of cards that don't work and straight up contradict each other. On the other hand, you should you try to take every card, you can experiment and try things, because that's what those games are about. Then you can decide which ones you like and then how to combo them. It goes on, and it gives instances of stuff where you like what you did led to a negative effect. But the end of it is I would recommend you play a traditional deck builder game as opposed to those ones. Like Star Realms was the name of the one given. You can play competitive and co-op, and it might be something that suits what you want to have fun with. And then he even throws in TLDR in the form of a fighting game analogy by saying it's like Faust with the random items, and you're doing your best with whatever random item you get. Sure.
So I'm going to explain what happened. I was playing One Step from Eden, and One Step from Eden is kind of from like the Chain of Memories or Mega Man Battle Network mold, where your attacks are being dictated by a series of cards that you're going to get and then rotate through at a pseudo-random order. The mental stack problem that I ran into was you beat a fight in that game. Same thing with Slay the Spire as an example. You beat a fight, and then it goes, hey, you want to pick from these cards? And my brain goes, oh, cool, this is my reward for beating the fight. I get to pick one of these. So I picked them, and 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 I picked them. And then I get to the end of whatever my run is, and I have like 75 fucking cards. And it's a complete fucking mess. At which point the advice comes down, don't pick every card. And then my brain goes, got it. Deny every card possible and use your vanishes on your existing cards to get down to 2 cards total, and then I will always know what it is. But those cards are weak, and I run into the same problem. And it went back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, and the issue was a level of extremities. But the bigger thing was the Slay the Spire and One Step from Eden's like space inside the roguelike genre in terms of what do you mean I don't pick up my reward? And not necessarily like I'm aware that like Isaac or Gungeon or something would have like trap items.
I was going to say Isaac. Yeah.
That are just like they're not just like bad for your build, like they're aggressively terrible.
Yeah.
And you don't want them.
Some
I'm
Isaac
aware
rewards,
of that.
yeah.
But the subtler distinction is even something good can be bad for you if it doesn't synergize with what you have. Right?
Yeah.
And I spoke to somebody after that stream and we went through the back and forth of it, and I'm not totally nuts. But the bigger issue was, in fact, actually a direct result of streaming it. Because it was the first time I had sat down to play One Step from Eden. And in One Step from Eden, there's tons of cards. There's tons. It's a cool game. I don't know what 99.9% of them do. So in a situation in which I don't know what all of them do, I have to actually get all of them in order to know what they do. Yeah. And over a long enough period of time, I would hit some preferences.
Yeah.
But I didn't hit that point. So instead, I just kept ping-ponging between get every card, no, don't ever get every card.
Yeah.
Pick a focus, which I also didn't know because I didn't have the expertise. It's this interesting thing where, like, too much knowledge can make it so that you're unable to teach someone anything.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Like too much knowledge about
Mhm.
any competitive thing can hit a point where you are trying to skip past somebody's formative learning, and then they just stall out because they can't get any basics down.
Yeah. If we
And
were,
I'm nuts, and I'm crazy, and
of
I'm yeah.
course, that's we're moving past the obvious, where the beginning problem to begin with should not be a problem. Um, yeah, and Isaac, if like you know, we talked about like how pulling up the what that does stuff, and like seeing what the thing does and then making a decision is like it's you know, like it would be nice to like have the ability to just see it on screen and be like, okay, I'm informing my choice and I'll pick it up. That's one bit, but if we had chat yelling about what you should and shouldn't grab each time or whatever, that'd be a whole other story, right?
Isaac
In
has a different thing. Like Isaac, you have you can do the mod that tells you what it is now, but you
Yeah,
have to beat mom first.
but there's,
It's crazy how much better of a game it is with that. I
but
still
there's
can't believe it's not a default.
but there's more than you can ever memorize, right? The thing with
Don't
the
say
whole
that. Someone will now point out that no, I memorized it because I've been playing it since the Flash version. Okay, non-human.
Right. Now, the way that One Step from Eden is arranged is the reason why that game is set up in that way is because people who really fucking crushed the Mega Man Battle Network series wanted a Mega Man Battle Network style game that had a more like a unique twist to the gameplay kind of thing. Bring back Battle Network and add this aspect to it that's like
I was
different.
described One Step from Eden is Mega Man Battle Network for people who Battle Network was not enough for.
Yes, that exactly, literally that. People who have played those games love them, miss them because it's been forever, and like it's like, oh shit, people who know what all that is about and want the next level of that. This is who it's for, right? So within that, you need to kind of look at these games, or you don't need to, but the least destructive way to enjoy these games is because I did this for Slay the Spire, and for I know you bounced off of it, but Fights in Tight Spaces really kind of got me.
I literally can't even tell you why I bounced off Fights in Tight Spaces.
That's fine. I you know, but like I really enjoyed like learning about what style I wanted to play in that game, and with you know, Slay the Spire, there's different characters that have different styles of you know, moves entirely. You do test runs that are take everything, try them out runs, right? This is a run that's explicitly going to be too many cards, but I'll get to feel out how the cards play with each other and what they kind of do uniquely and how useful they are. And then the like refining phase comes after you've already had a chance to play with it, you know? I mean, this applies to like fucking, you can like, yeah, with like Teppen as well and shit. Like there's that part where you do this beforehand or you don't, but you still get to just play the game.
Well, those is a different situation because
Yeah.
like deck building is a more important skill in that, like, hey, did you build a terrible deck? Get ready to lose like 100 times in a row.
Right. You know, and when I was messing around with what the fuck is it called? Whatever, the Runeterra, you know, like yeah, same kind of thing where you, whether or not you you enjoy the building or you just want to grab from elsewhere, as long as you look at your cards and then decide how to play them, you can still play the game itself. But here, it's as you go, you choose to discard some so that the odds get better. The odds get like that's really just about like after you've done that run where you've felt out how good and bad the cards are, you know. And in some cases, it's like I don't know what this card is, but the description on it tells me it's gonna let me go back to the deck and pick out what I want to pull in like Slay the Spire. So I don't care. I just want to end my combo with that so that I can go back and pull out the starting sequence again each time, you know? So you just need to be willing to do throwaway runs and then do real ones afterwards.
I think one of the funniest things that happened during that stream was something that's happening right now. Somebody asked me, have I ever played Magic the Gathering? And that was like, because people are trying to find some kind of point of reference here, and I'm like, no. Did you ever play Pokemon? No. Did you ever play Yu-Gi-Oh? No. Did you ever play Hearthstone? Not really. Did you ever play Mega Man Battle Network? And this is the one that broke people, where I was like, I have never seen Mega Man Battle Network. And I was like, the only experience I have with Mega Man Battle Network is unlocking those terrible characters in fucking Onimusha Blade Warriors. That's my experience with that.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Have you played poker? Right.
Yeah, I have played poker.
Right. So then you're just looking at odds of things coming up, but you can't throw away a hand, and you can't throw away cards in poker to like never ever get them again, right? Yeah, I think it is something of just like you have cards that are like often locked behind a condition in these games, and then you have some cards that are just excellent cards at all times, but the only thing stopping you from having one is that you've already used it. You know, so you just kind of go, oh, okay, well, much like Inscription kind of taught you, like, if I want my good shit coming back up, I'll have to discard the shit I don't want. And the mid stuff is, you know, anything mid is, like, questionable when you have something great that can, you know, replace it. So, yeah, don't think about it as a reward. Think about it as more options, you know? And then be willing to do a bad run so that you can come back in with a good one. The Faust analogy at the end of that like is funny because it's like yeah, you're getting random pulls of whatever Faust items are. You can't quite like specify this is the exact item you want. And then it's almost like, you know, through refining it you get Teddy has a set number of them and they can go in a certain order. But regardless, the idea of like if you get your best moves more often, you get your super every time.
Yeah,
that's good.
So I think the funniest part about this is the only deck building game I've ever played is Gwent in Witcher 3. Not its standalone version, but in Witcher 3. To which people say that's a deck builder. Why don't you just play it like that? That's not actually a good example because Witcher 3's version of Gwent, the best way to play that game is to use spy cards to horribly cheat. Because every time you throw down a spy card, you get to just take a bunch of cards from your opponent's deck and play them. And if they have spy cards, you can take their spy cards and play them to get more of their cards. And you just take everybody's cards and then just run the number up. And I'm like, I don't think anything in any other game is ever going to work like that. It's working like Pot of Greed does in the show.
It's I like it's a weird thing because more moves is fun and cool, right? That's why you spend your time unlocking them when you play as Dante and you buy more moves to do more cool things. And you know, that currency is like how you enjoy the game more. But it's just again it's just a thing of like, are you willing to do a run that you know is a foregone loss in order to gather knowledge? Sure. You know?
The other thing, and this was the mental barrier, which is not am I ready to do a doomed run? I can do a doomed run. I do tons of them, right? I play roguelikes. The idea of like I had one really good run of Slay the Spire when I played it, where I was playing a poison deck. And part of that was not accepting non-poison deck cards, right? Because I want poison. I want to do lots of poison. And the act of like succeeding for 5 encounters in a row and getting nothing makes me want to die. It's so fucking frustrating to be given like, hey, you want all these? No, I don't. Ugh, gross. Give me a thing.
So you just need more reward systems that are more that besides like having options. You need progression, right?
Like,
so
like you know, like Walking Dead. This is a strange analogy, but you know, silence is always an option. Fuck that. That sucks. That's stupid.
Well, the Silent Lee
playthrough
is the weirdest non-thing. Yeah. But so in you know, fights in tight spaces, you got card options, but you also have life, or you can go to a shop, or you can or not go to a shop. You can go heal. You know, in Slay the Spire, you can go to a shop and buy stuff, buy different. You know, like so. There's things where it's like, okay, let me build out. You know, how many of this other peripheral stats or the orbs floating around my character in Slay the Spire or whatever the case is. You know, you can reward yourself with those if you want. But the fun is mainly just trying to beat those hard bosses, right? Like, Yeah, I don't know. It's just it takes a second to realize that like more moves does not necessarily equal better.
Yeah, it's just it's not about having lots more instantaneous rewards. Is that being given a choice and your choices are do nothing and save the same power or become actively weaker. That is not a satisfying choice to me.
So the
Right?
first
Like
time,
that's just really frustrating.
the first time anybody back in the day used to get their hands on Mugen, when it wasn't just a thing you'd watch on Salty Bet or YouTube, people would start downloading characters and then go, hey, here's Ryu and Ken. Okay, let me get Kyo. Now let me get Terry. Now let me get... oh, someone made Jin and Kazuya. That's sick in 2D. Wow. Okay, let me put all my favorite fighting game characters together. Great. Now you have a roster of 20 of those. And you're like, wait, they have everyone? And then you spend the next, like, couple of days putting every single fighting game character that you've ever heard of onto the same character select screen. And then this bloated beast of a game with 256 characters in it shows up where you can't even see the portraits on the select screen anymore. And then you're like, yeah, this game is awesome. It's got everyone in it. Every game should have everyone. This is my dream game. And then you start playing it and it sucks. And it feels terrible. And it's like not, it's like you can't wrap your head around any of it, and some things don't like it just there's too much going on.
You know what, man?
And you kind of like just end up being like, oh, okay, let me get rid of this group of characters. They were actually pretty poorly made, and this group over here sucks. And then you pare that shit down, right? Now, make no mistake, every time you go back to Marvel 2, that was the philosophy, and God bless them, that game needed to exist. There needed to be one, throw it all in and see what sticks. Turns out there's fucking 7 characters. The rest are non-existent. But the going to the point of too far and then dialing it back is a feeling that, I think you get to when you first fuck around with Mugen. And that's kind of how it felt when I was like, my deck is, I can barely scroll through this thing. What am I doing? Why would I play like this? This thing needs this card setup, needs this trigger, but the trigger is 80 cards deep. I'll never get to it. That's bullshit.
Feel like an insane person, and I was planning to spare you from this nightmare. But
that's
you
okay.
actually, using Mugen, just described in depth the exact design philosophy that led to today's Paladin rework in FF14.
Too much?
So no, it's that there's been an ongoing argument in that whole community as to whether or not you want all the classes to feel really different and work really differently, or be balanced within each other, right? And so out of all the 4 tanks, Paladin got to be the weird one. It was the one with the long rotation. It was the one with this weird mechanic that none of the other ones had. It was this, it was that, and that's cool, except it was also bad.
Less is more.
And so today's rework goes, okay, let's trim off just this little fucking weird appendage just to make it fit in with the others so that it's like viable. It's not like a throwaway spot, but it is gonna be a little bit more like the others. It is gonna be a little bit more homogenized because people don't want their unique thing to also be bad. People don't like, Servbot wow, cool, Servbot in Marvel vs. Capcom 2. And what I see is a character that is fun for about fucking 10 minutes, and then you fucking get Servbot off your team because he's a piece of shit. And I'm like, why couldn't a different Street Fighter character be there instead?
My favorite part about all of that is that I didn't bring up Yomi Hustle.
Yeah. Oh, you saw that. You saw that. Well, so the fun fact is, I still didn't actually. I'm still sitting on the rotational math over here, just in case.
Gotta do what you gotta do.
Feel bad for Yomi Hustle. That game's cool.
It's great.
I'm gonna literally die if I have to hear about Yomi Hustle ever again.
That's okay. It's very good, and I'm playing it and enjoying it, but I don't have much else to say. Yeah, there was another one over here. What's up? Hey, let's take this last letter from. Okay, well, no name. I'll just leave it at that. Dare the big get in and the small get out. Last week, Pat mentioned that Mountain Dew's flavor tastes fake. That's because it is. Back in the day, soft drink flavors were highly regional, and drinks like Sprite and Coke were patenting their respective flavor combos to shut down regional competition and became the name of a given flavor. Due to trademark shenanigans like this, the only drink that could be sold as lemon and lime flavored was Sprite. A chemist set out to make a lemon lime flavored soft drink without using lemons or limes to skirt owning Sprite money by emulating oils from citrus like orange and grapefruit. This not flavor is why it's hard to place the emulsified oil, and it's also why it looks so cloudy. You're seeing microscopic droplets of essential oils suspended in sugar water. TLDR, Mountain Dew's flavor is a synthetic imitation of lemon lime made from citric acid, orange and grapefruit, probably, and some other shit to get out of owing Sprite money for lemon lime flavor.
Probably, and some other shit.
Great.
That's the food we eat, everyone.
Not based on that being the best tasting thing, or it's just simply because some copyright bullshit law meant certain regions were not allowed to use certain fruits in their drinks. End of story. Like, it's always like that, right?
So what you're saying is that Mountain Dew is the pathfinder to Sprite's Dungeons and Dragons?
Baja Blast was an escape from the real fruits that pin us down.
Which soft drink is GURPS?
We are chained by the flavors of real fruits, and we needed to evolve to something completely outside the realm of fruit.
You know what I'll say? You want to talk about regional fucking things? If you put out fucking McDonald's Sprite in a can, I'll gain 100 pounds. I don't give a shit.
Specifically
McDonald's
that kind.
Sprite tastes so much fucking better than regular Sprite. It's unbelievable.
It's the fountain mix proportions, probably.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Bullshit.
All right. Let's get out of here.
Okay, short one today. I'll see you guys later on my stream. I'm exhausted. I need more coffee. Y'all have a good week. Bye-bye.
GURPS.
GURPS.